Happy Thankful Thursday, number 3. Self-employment should not be by your self-employment. Is it starting to catch on? This is going to be my thing. I want to make this my thing. It's my thing because I like things that are true. And this is true. I could not do this without the help from a lot of people. I've worked hard. I'm working hard to do what I'm doing and get where I'm going, but I also haven't. There's a lot of things that I feel like I've accomplished despite myself. By God's goodness and the people He's placed in my life, I have been blessed with many opportunities, given a lot of gifts. And sometimes it feels like not only is a door opening up, but somebody is physically shoving me through it. I mean, I'm moving my feet, but I don't know where I'm going half the time. But somebody's got their hand on my shoulder, like, oh, you want me to go over here, or where we go now? Oh, okay, this is nice. Uh, just just ask my wife how like actively I stay up on our weekly schedule. I kind of just go with the flow. I'm not completely passive, but whenever I look back on my life and see all of the threads that were intricately woven together. How this led to this, led to this, led to this at just the right time to intersect with this and get tangled up with this that led to this. I'm always amazed at how freaking brilliant I am to have been able to choreograph the perfect. No, it wasn't me. I've done nothing. I've done nothing to do this. Half the stuff that I've accomplished, I didn't even imagine a few years ago. And most of the things I could imagine, I lacked the boldness to move on. Especially for the last 5 years, I've been really encouraged and I've really learned a lot about myself, what I want to do, what I can do with my life. And one person in particular that I like to thank today for encouraging me and challenging me and making it possible for me to start my own businesses even, is someone who probably despised the fact that I'm shouting him out publicly like this. My business partner, Brian Consoli. Brian and I are very different people. He's former military, go get him CrossFit. He lives in Jersey, high power sales job, taking events, tech execs out to boxing matches, to broker like $100,000 deals, moving expensive equipment like signal generators and thermal test chambers and a bunch of other stuff that I don't know, although I've worked with him for a while. He's very type A. I'm very type B. Or is there something between A and B? Is there like a type? I think I might be there. But we're different people. He watches UFC matches with his girls before he tucks them in at night. And I'm currently working through Pilgrim's Progress with my boys before bedtime. True story. We're different people with very different interests. But I have learned that's a great thing. We met during our MBA program, and during orientation, just being perfectly honest, we didn't click. He was a nice enough guy, but there was nothing about him that screamed, yeah, you guys are going to be buddies. And years have gone by, to be perfectly honest, I don't think I would call him a buddy today. We just have different interests. But I would call him a good friend, and I trust him. And while we may not play well together, we just spend our leisure time differently, we work very well together. I tend to overthink. He just goes for it. During the MBA, we did a lot of group work together, and we developed a great dynamic. I'm the kind of guy that will just like stare at a blank page, a blank screen for a while, just letting my wheels spin, playing invisible chess, and trying to figure out the best way to get started, but never really getting started. He would run out get resources. He'd email and call people. Like we were working on a case study together, and he would just get people on the phone, like try to reach out to like the CEO of Huawei or something, and he'd just come back lugging big sacks of fact meat and drop them on the Google Doc, and then I would have something to work with. Now I know what to do. I can shape this. All right. Now let's get started. During the graduation banquet, he floated an idea real quick past me. He was saying, well, we should work together sometime. He was interested in doing some business and leadership coaching. And at that point, I was doing marketing stuff on the side. And I was like, sure, we can point people in each other's direction, maybe collaborate on a project sometime. We didn't really follow up on that, but we did stay in touch. And in fact, I started doing some freelance marketing work for his company, All Test Instruments, which, by the way, if you're in the market for a Keysight E5071C, I know a guy. Few years go by, and Brian throws out an idea. We should work together. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, we can point people in each other's direction. And he's like, no, we should work together. I want to start a business with you. Now, I had to think about that. I had been staring at a blank screen for a while, thinking about the idea of starting a business. Loosely, I already had with my freelance work. And I liked the idea of developing my own brand and making things a little bit more official, leaning in. But it was a big jump. So I settled for a while to just kind of move my feet without really knowing where I'm going or how long it's going to take me to get there. And here comes Brian shoving me through a door. And I'm very thankful that he did. That was the push that I needed to get started. That's how this started. Self-Employment Sidekick originally started as just a nameless YouTube channel that I started to document the start of Brero, our coaching business. Like, we filed the paperwork for the LLC right as everything was starting to shut down in 2020. And I thought it was an interesting thing against an interesting backdrop. Let's just see what happens. And since then, it's kind of taken on a more distinct shape. And Brero has taken on shape. It's been a slow push, but we've been building something strong, and it's been good. Like, just having somebody else to start a business with is just giving me the accountability and the motivation that I need. Otherwise, if it's just me, I'd probably fizzle out. Maybe I won't take this to the next level. But now somebody's relying on me, and I'm relying on them. This isn't just about me anymore. Just knowing there was someone else that I could pass the ball to gave me a lot of confidence to push the ball down the field. Like I said, it's been a slow push, but we've been doing some good work. And just yesterday, we wrapped our 8th and final session of a beta test of a new business coaching program that we're launching. And I gotta say, it went really well. Between the two of us, with our different areas of expertise and experience, we have a lot of value to share, I think. I'm going to say that. I don't like tooting my own horn, but I've been getting a little bit more confident lately. It's because of Brian in large part. And I'm really excited for the next step. Despite our differences, the different industries we've worked in, our different approaches, our different skill sets, we share a critical core value and a common purpose. We want to build meaningful connections with people. We want to provide meaningful help for people. And we want to see people grow strong businesses. And ultimately, we want people to grow businesses so they can grow strong families and communities off of what those businesses and ideas are able to yield. The principles we teach are broadly applicable to all types of people and businesses. And we've proven that out because of how different we are. Like the things we teach work for Brian and they work for me and the people I've worked with and the people he's worked with. So it's just been really cool to see how this odd couple dynamic has ended up really playing out in a really, really powerful way. So, yeah, Brian's somebody that I would not have picked out of a crowd for myself. Going into business with someone can be a really risky proposition. And if you were to do, if you were to start something, work on a project with anyone, you usually kind of gravitate towards people who you might feel like perfectly comfortable around, who you like click with. But what's the other adage? Don't go to business with a friend. Well, he's a friend, but he's not a buddy. And I think that dynamic is what makes this work. You know what? He's a buddy. I love you, Brian, if you're watching this. Don't. I hope that you're not being like, we're not buddies. No, we're buddies. But you know what I mean. He's the sort of guy that I don't need to apologize with. So I take it all back. Let me wrap this up. It's just been good. It's just been good to have somebody to work through, and I think having those differences, that can be a great recipe for success. If you're considering going into business, find somebody you can trust. Find somebody who can encourage you and push you. Brian's really pushed me. He's really challenged me, and we've been able to build something very strong. And I'm excited to see what comes next. If you want to see what comes next, you'd want to check out our Business Foundations Bootcamp. That's what we're tentatively calling it. You can join the waitlist, be among the first to know when we reopen enrollment. We're getting feedback from the cohort right now, and we're going to make a few tweaks. Let me see. Let me pull this up on the screen. You can sign up at Borrero.com/bootcamp and learn a little bit more about the program. We're making improvements, and we're going to open that up really soon. So, maybe we'll see you there. Thank you for joining me today. And now you can go and thank somebody else. I will see you later.